श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम्। वक्रतुण्डमहाकाय सूर्यकोटिसमप्रभः निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा। गुरुब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। गुरवे सर्वलोकानां विजयगौरोगिणां निधे सर्वविद्यानां श्रीदक्षिणामूर्ते नमः। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नमो धर्माय महदे नमः कृष्णाय वेदसे ब्राह्मणेभ्यो नमस्कृत्य धर्मान् वक्ष्यामि शाश्वताम्। नमो भगवते तस्मै व्यासाय तदेशस्य प्रसादात् वक्ष्यामि नारायणकथामिमाम्। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। So previously we looked at Satyaki progressing towards Arjuna, and he was facing all the Kaurava warriors. He defeated Drona, Kritavarman. He avoided Drona, and then Drona attacked him again, and then he defeated Drona, Kritavarman multiple times. And then Duhshasana comes with his army, and Duhshasana was defeated, and he goes to Drona, and Drona scolds him effectively, tells him that you are the cause of all this. You are the one who insulted Draupadi in that Sabha, and you are the one who humiliated all the Pandavas throughout. And now, when the battle has come, you are running away from that, asking my protection here. So, when he says that, Dushasana does not say a word back, and Dushasana then leaves that place, taking his place. He goes towards Satyaki, and Dushasana, accompanied by a large force of Mlechas, he comes near Satyaki and then fights vigorously with Satyaki. Drona also, in that battlefield, very much excited with anger, he rushes towards the Panchalas and the Pandavas. With a moderate speed, he goes there. He penetrating with that in the middle of that Pandava army host. He battles Drona, crushes them by hundreds and thousands, and Drona proclaiming his name loudly, shouting his name in that battle. He caused the carnage of among those Pandavas, Panchalas, Matsyas, and the warriors that assembled there. The Dhristaketu, who is son of Panchalas, he comes there and he faces Drona. He strikes at Drona with 5 sharp arrows, and then he again strikes Drona's standard with 1 arrow, his charioteer with 7 arrows. And the arrows coming from him, Drona could not make any progress and he could not approach him. Then the Panchala, seeing Drona like that, checked by Dhristaketu like that. They all became very happy, and they all, desiring for Yudhistira's victory, they all started attacking Drona as well, all the warriors, the soldiers on that side. They all covered Drona with large number of arrows, lances, and various other kinds of weapons. So Drona, baffling all that, attacking, resisting all that, he then aims a sharp arrow at Dhristaketu. That arrow piercing through that Dhristaketu's body, it entered the earth on the other side with blood. Then he quickly falls on the ground from his chariot, and like this he dies in that battlefield. So through Drona, that Panchala prince Dhristaketu died. Seeing him like that, Chitraketu, Sudanvan, Chitravarman, Chitraratha, all those brothers of Dhristaketu, the Panchala princes, they come rushed at Drona, and all of them again striking Drona with large number of arrows, and they struck from him from all the sides. Drona again resisting all of them, angrily thinking about their destruction, he shoots a shower of arrows towards them. With that, he confounds those princes who did not know what to do. Drona then angrily deprives them of their horses, their charioteers, and then chariots itself, and then finally he cuts off their heads and all of them fall then on the ground. So like this, Drona kills Viraketu, Chitraketu, Sudanvan, Chitravarman, Chitraratha, those Panchala princes, he kills them in that battlefield. Then Drona progressing further, seeing his brothers killed like that, Dhristadhyumna becomes very angry and shedding tears for his brothers. He comes in that battlefield attacking Drona. Angrily, he strikes at Drona, and then Drona strikes back at the Dhristadhyumna. So Dhristadhyumna completely was covered. Dhristadhyumna completely covers Drona, but then again, Drona did not feel any pain. He continued to fight smilingly at Dhristadhyumna. So, like this, the battle continues between Drona. Then Dhristadhyumna, taking a very sharp arrow, heavy arrow, he strikes at Drona. With that arrow, Drona was deeply pierced, and he sits down on the terrace of his chariot, and he faints while Dhristadhyumna was because of that arrow. Seeing this, Dhristadhyumna then immediately thinks about killing Drona, and he takes up his sword and he jumps down from his own chariot and then rushes towards Drona's chariot very quickly. And then he jumps onto Drona's chariot angrily with red eyes. He goes after, and he was with the desire of cutting Drona's head, who was fallen down and was fainted. Dhristadhyumna goes and towards cutting off Drona's head. Meanwhile, Drona immediately at that moment, just when Dhristadhyumna jumped on his chariot and was about to cut his head off, Drona regains his senses and then start fighting back with these arrows, very short arrows. He start fighting back, and those type of arrows, Drona was very skilled as well. So the arrows are very short, and those can be used when the enemy is very close, very nearby. So you don't have much to pull your arm and like that stretch and things like that. You don't have that much space. So very short arrows, Drona uses them, and then he weakens Dhristadhyumna, who was standing on his chariot. So then Dhristadhyumna, jumping down from the Drona's chariot, he returns to his own chariot, and then taking up his large bow, he started attacking Drona, and Drona similarly starts attacking Dhristadhyumna. So the battle then takes place between them was extreme, like previously between Indra and Prahlada. That's how Sanjaya describes that the battle was like that between Indra and Prahlada, the battle that took place previously. So like this, those two battling, and entire sky was covered with the arrows shot from those two people. Then all of them, seeing Dhristadhyumna battling like that, all of them said, without doubt, Drona coming face to face with Dhristadhyumna today definitely will be killed today. Like that, Panchalas were loudly, happily screaming and shouting like that, and then they were attacking Drona. Then Drona quickly cuts off Dhristadhyumna's charioteer in that battle. So then the horses of Dhristadhyumna take him away from that battle and take him away. So seeing Dhristadhyumna away, Drona then started destroying that Panchala and Srinjaya warriors who were assembled there, that army, attacking them and started destroying them. Meanwhile, Duhshasana, who was sent back by Drona and asked him to go and have a battle with Satyaki. So he comes to Satyaki scattering thousands of arrows. Having pierced Satyaki with 60 arrows, and then once again with 16, he did not make Satyaki tremble or anything. Satyaki did not care what Duhshasana was doing. So then again, accompanied by a large number of chariots from diverse regions, he once again started attacking large number of arrows at Satyaki. Seeing this, Satyaki then rushes towards him and covers him with his own arrows. And those arrows again, the army who were in front of Duhshasana, all of them were covered, and in that, all of them with those arrows were either killed or all of them started running away in fear. Seeing this, all of them running away like that in front of him, Dushasana did not run away. Fearlessly, he battled Satyaki, and striking 4 horses of Satyaki with 4 arrows, he strikes Satyaki's charioteer with 3, and then Satyaki himself with 100 he strikes. Dushasana, like that, striking all of them, he utters a loud roar in that battlefield. Seeing that, Satyaki becomes very angry, and then he covers Dushasana, made him invisible with the arrows. Satyaki completely covering Dushasana in that battlefield, just like spider covers a small insect as it catches on the net, completely covers with its threads, just like that Satyaki covers him. Seeing Dushasana in trouble like that, Duryodhana becomes worried, and he urges the Trigarta warriors who were there, who were by thousands, 3,000 of them. He urges them go towards Satyaki, and all of them who are sworn to die in the battlefield or attain victory, then never return, run away from the battlefield. All of them started attacking those Samshamtakas. They started attacking Satyaki, and Satyaki in that battlefield cuts off, strikes down 500 of those great warriors who were advancing towards him in that battlefield. So like that, quickly killing most of those warriors who were coming from mountain tops, and all of them like that. So Satyaki destroys the stand. The battlefield was covered with elephants, horses, the chariots, the people, the soldiers that's coming there with their gold and all the ornaments shining, blood flowing through like that. So it's a terrible battle Satyaki has, and destroys the soldiers coming there. And then the soldiers on the Kaurava side, like that, slaughtered by Satyaki, they failed to find any protector who could rescue them from that. All of them started running towards the spot where Drona was, hoping that Drona can resist this Satyaki. So like this, 500 brave warriors were killed by Satyaki. He started slowly making progress towards where Arjuna was. And those men again, who were proceeding towards Dushasana, Dushasana again comes in front of Satyaki, and he strikes him with 9 arrows. And then Satyaki strikes Dushasana with sharp arrows as well. And then Dushasana smilingly, once again, he strikes at Satyaki with 3, once more with 5. Satyaki, on the other hand, strikes back at Dushasana with 5 arrows, cuts off his bow. So, and then started making progress towards Arjuna again. And Dushasana, once again, angrily, he comes at Satyaki and then hurls at him an arrow made of iron. Satyaki, however, cuts off that arrow, and then Dushasana, taking another bow, he strikes at Satyaki once more, and then shouts loudly, giving happiness. And then Satyaki again stupefies Dushasana with large number of arrows, and then strikes him in the center of the chest with some sharp arrows. So like this, he pierces Dushasana with 8 arrows, and then Dushasana again strikes back at Satyaki with 20 arrows. The battle continues between them. Then Satyaki, taking a sharp set of arrows, 3 arrows, he strikes in Dushasana's chest. Then he kills Satyaki's horses, and then angrily he also kills with some straight arrows Dushasana's charioteer, and then with a broad-headed arrow he cuts off Dushasana's bow, and with 5 arrows he cuts off Dushasana's leathern fence. So that's the cases he has on his hand. So that's protecting his hand. So he cuts off that, and then with Satyaki, then with a broad-headed arrow, cuts off Dushasana's standard and the wooden staff on his chariot. So then with a number of arrows, he kills both Parshni charioteers of Dushasana, the charioteers who are coming on the both sides of Dushasana, who were there to protect in case the charioteer dies and things like that to support him. So and also those Parshni's job is to bring all the weapons and other things to supply for the main warriors. So those Parshnis as vehicles. Then, like that, Dushasana was standing there without uh, his bow, without his chariot, without the horses, without the charioteer. Like that, he was there, and he was taken up by the Trigarta warriors in that battlefield. So he jumps down and jumps onto Trigarta warriors' chariot. Satyaki then he pursues Dushasana for a minute and then restrains himself, his anger. He controls himself and calms down. And he did not try to kill Dushasana in that battlefield, thinking about the words of Bhima. Because Bhima, if you remember previously, he vowed in that assembly that he will destroy all the Kauravas, Dhritarashtra's sons in that battlefield. So remembering that, Satyaki leaves Dushasana for another day, and then he starts making progress along the track where Arjuna had gone before. So Satyaki continues his journey. Listening to this, Dhritarashtra once again asked Sanjaya, were there no Maharathis, no Rathis, nobody who were chariot riders, car warriors who could resist or even kill or resist Satyaki in that battlefield as he proceeded towards Arjuna? He is of great strength like Indra himself, or the track that Satyaki proceeded, was it clearly empty? Because you narrating as if Satyaki went from at the one end of the battlefield to the other end where Arjuna was so easily. Is it nobody was there or nobody could resist? What was happening when he was going like that? So as he passed through that vast force, what did happen and what did my forces do? So when he asked that, Sanjay narrates that uh, there is a great exertion and uproar made by your troops who were having large number of chariots, elephants, horses, foot soldiers, and all those things. They were there, and all of them were saying, ready to making a large shout, and all of them were attacking Satyaki and things like. They were saying that the Devatas and Charanas and Siddhas who were all looking at this battle from the sky said that this is the type of noise that's never heard in before. So like that, your troops were making noise. So there's the array as well, the formation as well, like Drona made, that never seen before. So on that day where Jayadratha's slaughter has happened, Jayadratha was killed on this 14th day. The formation that Drona made, like that, was never happened before. So even with that, Satyaki was continuing. So when these noises were made by those angry warriors on the both sides, the battle takes place. Huge battle takes place. Tremendous battle takes place between two parties. Bhima, Dhristadhyumna, Nakula, Sahadeva, Yudhistira, all of them loudly shouted at each other, saying that, come, strike, rush. Satyaki has gone, Arjuna has gone, entered into that Kuru army. So quickly they will go and they will kill to where Jayadratha is. So like this, they said and urged their troops to attack the Kauravas, and they also continued and said, if Satyaki is killed or even Arjuna is killed or if both of them are killed, then Kauravas would have achieved their objectives and ourselves were defeated if either of them get killed. So therefore, uniting together, all of them go and attack this Kaurava troops. So like this, Bhima, Dhristadhyumna, Nakula, Sahadeva, Yudhishthira, all of them urged the troops, Panchalas, the Viratas, all of them to go and attack Kauravas. Then when like that urged by Bhima, and Dhristadhyumna, they all started attacking Kauravas and recklessly, without considering their lives, they started attacking, and a terrible battle takes place between them and the Kauravas. Similarly, Kauravas as well, desiring great fame that's going to come on their way with that battle and either victory or attaining heaven, they went and rushed towards that Pandavas in that battlefield. So again, terrible in that terrible battle, Satyaki having defeated all those warriors, he proceeded towards Arjuna and Duryodhana as well. He penetrated that Pandava troops in that battlefield. Encountered again took place between Duryodhana and the Pandava troops was terrible. So Dhritarashtra once again asked when the Pandava host troops were there, like that proceeding in that battlefield. Duryodhana in penetrating it, he must have he must have been placed in great distress by what was happening. I hope he did not turn his back on the battlefield and run away from it. I hope that encounter that takes place between one and many in that dreadful battle, that seems very unequal to me. Similarly, Duryodhana has been brought up in great luxury, in wealth and possessions. He is a king of men, alone encountering that Pandavas. I hope he did not turn his back in that fight. Sanjaya says that listen to me carefully. The battle that Duryodhana had in that time, and the encounter that took place between him and many on the Pandava side. Sanjay continues his narration. He says that Pandava army was agitated by Duryodhana in that battlefield, like a lotus stag was in a lake by the elephant. So Duryodhana was shaking that Pandava army and the array they were forming. He, seeing them like that, Panchalas headed by Bhima, they all rushed towards Duryodhana. Then Duryodhana strikes Bhima with 10 arrows. He strikes Nakula Sahadeva with 3 each, and then Yudhistira with 7. He again strikes Virata Drupada with 6 arrows, Shikandi with 100, and then strikes Dhristadhyumna with 20. He strikes 5 Draupadi's sons with 3 arrows each, and then he strikes he cuts off hundreds of other combatants who were in that battle attacking, and including the elephants, chariot riders. Like this, Duryodhana was progressing single-handedly towards that Panchalas and Pandavas. So his skill he's seen in that, and also the weapons, the power, strength he has in that. He continuously attacked Pandavas in that battlefield. Then Yudhishthira, with a couple of broad-headed arrows, he cuts off the bow of Duryodhana, and Yudhishthira also strikes him deeply with 10 excellent arrows, and then those arrows again touching Duryodhana's armor, they quickly broke into pieces because Duryodhana had that armor put on by Drona. Then Arjuna Pandavas again filled in happily with what Duryodhana has done. So they attack, and Yudhishthira once again strikes at Duryodhana and strikes and breaks his armor. Taking again Duryodhana one more bow because that bow was cut off by Yudhishthira. So he says, wait, and then rushes towards him. So then Drona, seeing this battle with the hope of rescuing Duryodhana from those Pandavas, he goes after those Pandavas. Then again, terrible battle takes place between Drona and the Pandavas. At one end, Arjuna was battling. In that battlefield, he was progressing, nearing Jayadratha, and he was nearing Jayadratha where Kripa and various Karna and various other warriors were there. And in the middle of that battlefield, Satyaki was there. He was progressing towards Arjuna. And then at the front, on the Kaurava side, if you call it front, so the Drona was with at the gate of that Pandava, he was there. So like this, 3 separate battles were taking place in that battlefield. So Drona was there at one end, middle Satyaki, and then at the other end, towards the other end, Arjuna was there. So in that afternoon, again, dreadful battle takes place. Drona and the Somakas, the Panchalas, they had terrible battle. Drona striking down large number of warriors in that he continues to battle. Then the great Maharati Kekeya, from Kekeya, the Brihatkshatra, he comes there. He is the eldest of those 5 Kekeya brothers. He rushes towards Drona. and he greatly strikes at Drona, and Drona angrily he again strikes with him with 15 arrows, and then Brihatkshatra once again he cuts off every one of those and then strikes again at Drona with 5 arrows of his own. Like this, the battle takes place between Brihatkshatra and Drona, and Brihatkshatra continuously covers Drona and then strikes him, his horses, his charioteer. Like this, he strikes at him large number of arrows. Drona applauds that skill shown by Brihatkshatra and then releases the Brahma's weapon, Brahmastra. So Brihatkshatra again, seeing that Brahmastra weapon, he releases Brahmastra of his own, and then those two nullify each other. And then, like this, the seeing that Brahmastra baffled by Brihatkshatra strikes Drona with 60 arrows, and then Drona again strikes. Drona, on the other hand, strikes Brihatkshatra with a sharp arrow that penetrates through his armor and passes through his body and then enters the earth. Like seeing deeply pierced by that arrow of Drona, Dhristaketu becomes very angry, and with rolling his eyes, he strikes Drona with 70 arrows, all with stone tip at the end and winged with gold at the back. So those arrows again, Drona cuts off all of that, and then Drona's charioteer was struck by Brihatkshatra and deeply pierced by Brihatkshatra with those arrows. Drona again shoots a large number of arrows at that prince of Kekayas, so deprives him of that Brihatkshatra and of his chariot, and then Drona again with 4 arrows kills his horses, and then he kills Brihatkshatra's charioteer, and then with 2 other arrows he cuts off his Brihatskshatra's standard and umbrella, and then with the 3rd arrow he pierces Brihatkshatra in the chest, and with that Brihatkshatra, the Kekaya prince, falls on the ground. He dies from that battlefield. Seeing him slaughtered like that, son of Shishupala, Dhristaketu, the king of Chedi, he comes to that battlefield and he tells his charioteer saying that Drona is there, in that he is battling, he is killed Kekaya prince, go, and he is slaughtering the Panchala troops, so go there. So hearing that, the charioteer takes Dhristaketu to Drona. So then again, battle takes place between Dhristaketu and Drona. He strikes Drona and his horses, his standard with 60 arrows, and then once again he strikes him with large number of arrows. Drona again cuts off those arrows in the middle, and then he strikes back at Drona, sorry, at Dhristaketu, and Dhristaketu's bow was cut off. He takes another bow and then strikes Drona with many arrows. Drona then again, killing the 4 horses of Dhristaketu, he cuts off the charioteer of Dhristaketu. Dhristaketu's charioteer's head he cuts off. So then he strikes Dhristaketu with 25 arrows. Then Dhristaketu, jumping down from his chariot, taking up a mace, he hurls it at Drona. That mace coursing towards Drona looked as if it was going to hurt and kill Drona, but on the other hand, with thousands of arrows, he cuts off and destroys that mace into powders, that mace into small pieces. So like this, then Dhristaketu hurls a lance and a dart at Drona, and then Drona again cuts off those with 5 arrows. So then he strikes at the breast of Dhristaketu an arrow that pierces through his armor and breast of Dhristaketu. So Dhristaketu in that battle, like this, that ruler of Chedis, he was killed by Drona in that battlefield. So like this, the Kekaya prince, and then the Dhristaketu was killed along with, also we saw the Panchala princes who were Dhristadhyumna's brothers were also killed by Drona in that battlefield. So seeing that battle like that, killed like that, while the Pandavas were being pinned by Drona like that, heroic son of Jarasandha, Sahadeva, he comes after Drona. And then again, great battle takes place between them. Large number of thousands and thousands of arrows, each of them strike, and then Drona uh, quickly cuts off that Jarasandha's son's head, and then with that Jarasandha's son dies in that battlefield. So like this, the battle continues between Pandavas, Panchalas, and Drona. Drona destroys large number of troops on the Panchala side, and then he kills with a large number of elephants, horses, by hundreds and hundreds. He kills them. So like this, the Panchalas started to shake. They did not know what to do and how to resist Drona. So like this, the Drona continues in that battlefield. The Chedis, Srinjayas, Kashis, Koshalas, all of them still urged by Dhristadhyumna and the four Pandavas, they all started rushing towards Drona, still in that battlefield, saying that Drona, let's kill him. Drona is going to be killed. Like this, so the shouting, they all rushed towards him. And then Drona again, with his arrows, he dispatched those brave army men who were coming towards him, the elephants, horses, all of them to Yama's place. So like this, the battle continues. Seeing those great things achieved by Drona, they loudly, all of those troops started calling Bhima, Dhristadhyumna, saying that this Brahmana who's practiced great penances, he's acquired great ascetic merits, he's angrily consuming all these Kshatriyas in this battlefield. Kshatriya's duty is to battle, but Brahmana's duty is asceticism. This Brahmana is having this ascetic merit and learning. He is capable of burning everything just by looking at them. So great Kshatriyas are being killed by Drona's weapons. So protect like this. Those troops were calling for Bhima and Dhristadhyumna. Hearing those words, Kshatradharman, observing his Kshatriya duty, he comes there and with a crescent-shaped arrow, he cuts off the bow of Drona. And Drona again, taking up another bow, he starts battling Kshatradharman. So fixing a sharp arrow, he strikes at Kshatradharman, and Kshatradharman was killed by that strike because the arrow passed through his chest, breast, and then he was killed like that. So like this, the son of Kshatradharman was son of Dhristadhyumna. So Dhristadhyumna's brothers were previously killed. Now Dhristadhyumna's son Kshatradharman was also killed by Drona in that battlefield. Then Chekitana jumps on Drona, piercing Drona with 10 arrows. Once more, he strikes him with large number of arrows and an arrow on the chest of Drona. He strikes Drona's charioteer with 4 arrows, his 4 horses with 4 arrows, and then Drona, in return, strikes right arm of Chekitana with 16 arrows, his standard with 16, and his charioteer with 7. And then he kills his charioteer. Chekitana's horses run away from that battlefield when the charioteer was killed. Then the Panchalas and the Pandavas, the troops, everybody, all of them were filled with great fear. Drona, like this, routing from all sides, those Panchalas, Srinjayas, all of them. He looked great in that battlefield, and full 85 years old, that Drona in dark color with white hair, descending. He was on that chariot looking like a battle. He was battling like a 16-year-old, even though 85-year-old with gray hair. He was battling in that battlefield like 16-year-old. So the enemies regarded Drona as he battled that like he was looking like Indra himself in that battlefield. Then Drupada, thinking that this Drona is destroying the troops, he says that this Drona is killing all the Kshatriyas like a hungry tiger killing all these smaller animals. So this Duryodhana is definitely will get victory if we don't destroy this Drona. So thinking like that, Drupada starts with his own troops and Akshoni of troops. He rushes towards Drona. So when the army of Pandavas was uh, attacked from all the sides, the Pandavas, the Parthas, the remaining four Kunti's sons and Madri's sons, the Nakula Sahadevas, Draupadi's sons, the Panchalas, Somakas, all of them retreated to a great distance in that battlefield. Drona again continuously giving loud shouts. He started attacking and continued to attack those Panchalas in that battlefield. Yudhistira, uh, failing in that battlefield to find any refuge in that distress, began to think how the matter would end. He was thinking like that in that battlefield. And again, looking around with his eyes in expectation of Arjuna, Yudhishthira, however, he did not see Arjuna anywhere, or he did not see Satyaki anywhere. And also, he did not see Arjuna's banner, nor he heard of Gandiva's sound. And Arjuna, Yudhishthira again, once again, become filled with anxiety. So previously he was worried. He did not see heard much of Gandiva, so he sent Satyaki. Now once again he still did not hear anything and did not hear anything about Arjuna. So he was or Satyaki. So he not seeing Arjuna or Satyaki, he becomes very much worried and he becomes equally anxious for both of them. So Yudhishthira did not find any peace, and then he started thinking himself, fearing the evil opinion of the entire world on him. He began to think of Satyaki's chariot as well, thinking what happened to Satyaki. He started thinking, this Shini's grandson Satyaki, he is of great strength. He dispels fears of all his friends. He has been sent by me in the track of Arjuna. I had only one source of anxiety before, which was thinking about Arjuna. Now I have two. So I have to think about Arjuna as well as Satyaki. I don't know what happened to Satyaki. I should have both Satyaki and Arjuna now in my mind. I don't know what happened to them. Having sent Satyaki to follow Arjuna's track, now whom should I send to follow Satyaki's track? Because Satyaki went where Arjuna went. Now I don't know where Satyaki went. I have to send somebody to look for Satyaki. I don't know whether Satyaki is safe. So if by means I endeavor to obtain intelligence of my brother only, that is Arjuna only, if Arjuna's message only comes that Arjuna is safe, without inquiring about Yudhana, that is Satyaki, everybody in the world will reproach me, saying that Yudhishthira was always thinking about Arjuna. That's why he sent Satyaki. And now he's not hearing anything about Satyaki. He did not send anybody. People will start blaming me that I cared only about my brother and not Satyaki because I sent Satyaki alone. So they will say that Yudhishthira, that Dharma's son, having inquired about his brother, leaves Satyaki alone to the fate. So that's how people will say that. He left Satyaki die in that battlefield, but when it was his brother, he sent Satyaki to look after him. So, and also, that's why I should send Bhima. I should send Bhima now. Where Satyaki went, in that track, I should send Bhima because the love I have for Satyaki is no different and no less to love the love I have for Arjuna. So that's why it has been Satyaki has been set by me a very difficult task. Even Arjuna for it was difficult. Now Satyaki has been sent to penetrate that army and go near Arjuna. Loud noise I hear of all those untreating heroes, all those mlechas and everybody attacking Satyaki, and he is without doubt there are too many of them for him. Definitely there are too many of them. The time therefore has come for me to think about his rescue. I have to think a way I need to rescue Satyaki. And it seems that the only thing I can do now is send Bhima. There is no other person. There is nothing else in this world that Bhima can't do. If when he is in steady, when he with steady resolution, when he makes up his mind, there is nothing he can't do. Nobody in this battlefield is equal to him in this when he's made up his mind. So if Bhima goes there, then both Satyaki and Arjuna will get definitely will get a help. So without doubt, they will definitely remove my any anxiety I have for Satyaki and Arjuna. That will be removed once Bhima leaves this place. And also there Krishna is also there, and for their account, I certainly, when there is anxiety, I should always remove my anxiety first. So therefore, I should send Bhima towards Satyaki. So like this Yudhishthira thinks, and he starts talking to Bhima. And what happens? What happens to Bhima, whether he agrees, and if he goes, what happens? We will see that next time.